Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, the case is with the jury. They had a half a day or more for deliberations. They did come back and ask for clarifications on some of David Pecker's testimony and for Michael Cohen's testimony. Speculation is they're comparing what both men said to see if what they said aligns. They also asked again for the judges and jury instructions, which watching, I think it was Lady Di. No, it wasn't. It was a different TikToker, another legal analyst, saying these are normal requests. Nothing unusual to see here. What was a little bit unusual was some reporting that Donald Trump had some Post-it notes in front of him, and he had written in black Sharpie some messaging that says, this case should be dismissed by the judge, but he is totally, and then the next word begins with a C, is probably conflicted, right? And then the Post-it note behind it, I can't make it out, but it says, make no, and then M, make no mistake about it. B, the next word begins with a B, then a C, then a B, then a U. So I can't quite read it. Make no mistake about it. Yeah. He has to write this stuff down, and then he's got a bunch of bullet points underneath it with things that people said, including the three-legged stool theory, which is, try to compare this case with a three-legged stool, knock out one of the legs, and then the stool can't stand up. He butchered that quote. I heard that on the Midas Touch this morning on my drive into work. Anyways, I tried to save a picture as a JPEG, so I'll try and put it up as the thumbnail on this video. But Trump went on an absolute spree on Truth Social. A lot of just craziness that he's spewing out there. His acolytes are all saying this is a Biden witch hunt and there's no crime there, and etc. Just all the stuff. There was one bit that was out there. Sorry, this is going to be a little bit. I'll probably get this reading started about the 4 to 5 minute mark. There was one bit out there about the jury needing to be unanimous and agreeing that there was a crime, but they didn't necessarily have to agree on the exact thing that was the crime. It's a horrible way of explaining. I don't have the quote in front of me. The analogy I have, and it's not a very good analogy, forgive me, it would be like saying it was a crime. Somebody committed a crime in your car. One person, let's say somebody came to your car, they smashed the window, they reached in, they stole your radio out and slashed your seat. It took like your wallet that was in there and then left. All three people would agree that there was a crime. One person might say the crime was them smashing the window. One person might say it was the theft of the radio. One person might say it was stealing the wallet. They all agree a crime happened, and a crime happened involving that car and that person. They may not necessarily agree on all the crimes that were committed, but that there was a crime committed. And that's what was needed for I'm assuming for the conspiracy part of this. So the judge basically said you have to be unanimous in agreeing there's a crime, but you don't have to be unanimous in specifically what the crime was. And the right-wing media and Trump just their minds blew up. Like, oh my God, they just said that you don't have to be unanimous. The jury doesn't have to convict in a unanimous fashion, which is taking the words and twisting them. But I want you to know the anxiety levels that Trump and his followers, his acolytes have, are off the charts. They are stressed out. You want to know why they're stressed out? Because they all know he's going to be convicted. Right? They all know he's going to be convicted, and they're just trying to gin up as much pearl-clutching outrage as they possibly can. So I'm not going to read on the jury on this one. Let's read on the energy around Donald Trump with the case now that it's gone to the jury, and see what that looks like. Okay, I'm already getting a little tingly on this one. It's entertainment purposes only. Let's see what's going on. He's stressing out. He's not a man who's in any physical condition that could stress out even more than he's already been. Entertainment purposes only. At the foundation of this reading is the Hierophant, the big government. This is the court case. This is for all the marbles, as it were. Trump's trying to become president of the United States. He's in the first of 4 criminal court cases. In this particular criminal court case has now gone to the jury, and if it does not go well for Donald Trump, he could be going to prison. Okay? Big government things, big organizations like the legal system, the political system, things along those lines. The media, so he's using the media, all these big things that he's doing. He's not quietly retreating to Mar-a-Lago or Bedminster or his penthouse, lying low while waiting for the jury to deliberate. He's out there ginning up a storm. This is crossed with the Ace of Wands, and the energy underneath is the Queen of Pentacles. The Ace of Wands, this is a big case. This is a big action. They've got Donald Trump, this case, to the jury, and the jury's now deliberating it. Trump, if he's going to try and stay on top and keep his government run alive, he needs to take big actions. And he's the type that's going to take the stick and try and smash everything, bring it down. Underneath it is the Queen of Pentacles. And the high energy, it's a practicality. It's looking at all the things, a use for everything that you have. Also could be like a mother and her baby or something along those lines. Again, this could be that all the evidence is now sitting with the jury, and the jury is now contemplating that evidence. That's where this case is now. Trump in his energy, maybe I'll read this. I didn't want to read the jury first, but this is kind of the general thing. For Trump, this is kind of like, this is all the marbles. He's looking at his life, and his life is in the balance. And here's the thing. He doesn't have control of the narrative. In this entire court case, he has had to sit there and be quiet. He hasn't had control of the narrative on anything. And so he has to sit there like a petulant boy and just be quiet, and while some lady prints out some stories for him to make himself feel better, basically like his binky, as it were. And he just has to sort of sit there and take it. He doesn't like it. Sorry, adjusting the lighting here just a little bit more. It's a little washed out. That's better. And he doesn't like not having control. He's never liked not having control. But we've got here, the Queen of Pentacles is about looking at the value of things. And this, to me, is more like the jury looking at the evidence. And Trump looking at what's left of his life. In the past, 7 of Coins, the jury has got, the jury's heard the evidence, and now they're weighing the evidence and they're debating the evidence. That's going on here. As far as Trump, Trump's, in some ways, he's looking at the crimes that he's committed. He's looking at his values. He's looking at this evidence too, and he's trying to figure out, what can I do? How can I land on my feet on this one? Things are stacked against him, and he knows it. His back is against the wall. In some ways, this is like his back is against the wall. You've got this stone chair behind you. You've got a cat on your lap, and you can't get up and leave. There you go. You know how the joke goes. Can't get up. Got a cat on my lap. That's where he is right now. He's got a cat on his lap. He can't get up. He can't go anywhere. He can't do anything. He's trapped. He is trapped. Current situation is the Knight of Swords. I said I was going to read on the jury, but here we are. I still think the jury is going to deliberate quickly. They're going to get to their answer quickly. This is not going to be, I do not believe this is going to be a weeks-long trial. This is going to be a days-long trial. Trump is also just lashing out. He is charging any which way. Literally, it's like... It's like a rubber band ball, and somebody's cut the rubber band, and it's just spinning wildly. There's just all this fury that he's got. I mean, literally, Tasmanian Devil from Bugs Bunny cartoons, just whirling around, snarling. He's out of control, and he's looking for somebody to come racing to his rescue, like a knight in shining armor. There's nobody there. He keeps quoting people from Fox News saying how there's no case there and there's no crime and this, that, and the other thing. He's just desperate. It literally is a drowning man trying to get that last breath of air, and he will climb over anyone or anything to keep his head above water. I had a MAGA supporter post up on one of my Trump video this morning. Just a brief segue on this one, saying there's no underlying crime there to warrant this felonies or something along those lines. It's like, let's take a step back, shall we? Trump is saying there was no crime. It was just paying for legal services. He never had sex with Stormy Daniels, and he was worried that she was extorting him. He didn't want Melania to find out that she was extorting him. And he wanted to use attorney-client, like the breach of attorney-client privilege. He wanted to say that he was following the advice of his lawyer, and that's why he committed a crime. So on one hand, he's saying there's no crime, but if there was, it's because I took the advice of Michael Cohen, my lawyer, so any crimes need to be blamed on him. Well, make up your mind. Which one's your defense? You can't do both. Either you committed a crime or you didn't. He's whining that he didn't get to use the advice of counsel defense, I believe is what it's called. Well, as Glenn Kirshner and Ben Meisalas both described, all you have to do is just petition the judge to say that's going to be your defense. You have to give over some discovery documents, and you have to admit to the underlying crime that you're being charged with, and then you have to go up and testify and explain what your lawyer told you that caused you to break the law and why it's your lawyer's fault. And then you go through cross-examination. Funny, he didn't do any of that. And the funny part is, that means by Trump saying, I wanted that defense, it means that he's admitting there's a crime happened. Yet, he's saying a crime didn't happen. I don't know how you're a MAGA Trump supporter. Which one is it? That simple logic it confuses them, because they just like to be told what to say. And if they just stop for half a second and just did that little thing, it's like either it is or isn't. Which one is it? Because you can find quotes from Donald Trump on both in the same paragraph. Which one is it? And they would just say, well, it shouldn't have happened anyways. That's all they can say. It's sad. It's very sad. He's looking for somebody to save him. He's drowning. Overarching energy. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is it. The culmination of his bad acts as a person. This is literally the zit popping on this man's orange face. This is the culmination of all the things that he's done in his lifetime. The consequences have finally caught up with him. There's nobody to save him. The people that are bringing him down are the very people who had chained themselves to him and did his bidding, and are now basically telling the courts, we did his bidding. He told us to do it. And they have the receipts to prove it. Nuh-uh doesn't count as a defense. And that's where Trump is just absolutely losing his mind, because literally losing his mind, because there's no out. There's nobody to blame. And you just look at what he's doing. Everything's thrown against the Biden Justice Department. It's the Democrat, the 95% Democrat jury. It's the conflicted judge. It's that lying Michael Cohen, who told the truth on some things, like he stole $30,000 from me, but he lied about everything else. That's convenient. I guess so. If Michael Cohen was asked if he's lying and he said yes, does that mean he's lying and he wasn't lying? It's just, this is it. He's cornered. He's cornered. I realized we wanted him to be cornered with the January 6th insurrection case, the Mar-a-Lago case, the Georgia RICO case, but right now he's cornered in this case. There is no way out. He's looking for a quarter in the corner of a round room. The truth. For those of you who like my evil laugh, that's right there. As I have said about a gazillion times now, the Sun card is about the truth, and the truth is not a friend of Donald Trump or the Republican Party in its current iteration. All his lies are being exposed, and there's not a damn thing he can do about it. He literally is looking for a corner to hide in a round room. There's nowhere for him to go. Another metaphor. I'm full of metaphors today. It's like a cockroach and the lights on the cockroach, and it's trying to scurry to find a crack, and you're in a sealed room with not even a corner for you to go in. It's round, and no matter where in the room you go, you're fully exposed. He's got nowhere to go. He's got nobody to save him. He's got nothing to hide behind. He's totally exposed. And his emotions are not in control. His emotions are exploding. The amount of emotional energy coming out of this guy, that's his stress level. His stress level is screaming. And this is not going to be good for his health. He is not a healthy man. He is not a man who eats healthy. He's not a man who exercises regularly. He is under an immense amount of stress, and now he's under even more stress. He's a narcissist who's been outed as a narcissist. He's a man who's gotten away with everything his entire life, and that winning streak is ending. And he's losing his freaking mind. What causes you to lose your mind? Stress, anxiety, stroke. He literally could stroke out just to give his mind a chance to relax. He could have a heart attack just to give his body a chance to relax. It's like, again, he's wound up tight and he's just throwing energy everywhere. He is completely and utterly out of control. He is totally tumbling, and he's lost all self-control. We keep talking about that health event, and I'm gonna throw on that right now. I really do think that health event is coming. I think Libby might have been right, or more right than most, when she was saying, right around the time he hears the guilty plea is when he has his health event. It's in that realm of things. So, given the anxiety and the stress that Donald Trump is under, because now it's unknown, but he knows. He knows his. I'm sure his lawyers have prepped him for it. People around him prepped for it. Even if they haven't, he can tell. He knows he's in deep trouble because he doesn't own this judge. He can't get to the jury. He can't do anything to stop this. He's not in control of the narrative. Talk about a feeling of helplessness. He truly is helpless. So and gagged. So we can't even rail on that. He is stuck everywhere he goes. And he's stressing out. That's that Queen of Cups. He is just absolutely losing his mind. And I'm trying not to use the S word. Trump's health. What can you tell me about it? Four of Cups. He needs to calm down. But as they say, nobody in the history of calming down has ever calmed down when somebody told them to calm down. Usually get oppositional what are they, bias or whatever they call that, when it's like calm down just makes you want to amp up more. The dude needs to take a tranquilizer. He needs to sit down and just be calm. But that's not what he does. All his emotions are now being laid bare. And being calm is not a Donald Trump thing. Being quiet, introspective is not a calm thing. If this guy had the ability to meditate, now is the time to do it. Because if you don't do it, Spirit's going to force you to do it. Yeah. He needs to calm down. This is going to be his undoing. It's death of 1,000 cuts. And I think what this is showing with the Ten of Swords here is that all the stressors, all the thing, all his bad behaviors, his destructive behaviors, his anxiety, his weight, his blood pressure, his cholesterol levels, his lack of emotional control, or like if he has his lack of impulse control. All these things are just not any one of them is taking him down. They're all taking him down because they all build on each other. And underneath it all, we have the drunken hillbilly brawl card. It's just the stress level on this guy is over the top. And he's trying, literally, and this is what I was trying to describe earlier, he's trying to throw off that stress. The turmoil that you see inside of him is being shown to the world, and he's trying to throw that stress off because his heart and his body can't take it. His brain can't take it. His heart can't take it. You can imagine the electricity is just firing in that guy. The engine's revving. And there's no governor on his RPMs. He's gonna blow his freaking engine. He is literally gonna blow his engine on this one. It literally, again, is a race between his heart and his brain. Which one's gonna shut down first? In the past is the Four of Wands. This is the Judgment. This is the verdict. It could be even after he finds out he's going to prison. But we've got the wedding card here, the welcoming here. Again, his health event can happen anytime. It could be the stress of knowing what the judgment's going to be. It could be finding out he's guilty. It could happen right after he finds out that he's going to be going to prison for some length of time. But he's got to get in control of his emotions. Emotions are just going to... He's going to blow a blood vessel in his brain, or his heart's going to give out. Current situation is the Knight of Swords. Talking about his health. The health event is going to come quick. Now, swords are about intellect, so it could be a brain shutting down. But, it's after he gets the news. Again, it could be the guilty verdict. It could be the sentencing. When I had thrown before, I saw it happening before the summer solstice, which is June 20th. I'm expecting that by about June 1st, I think that's Friday. It could be June 4th on a Monday. Friday or Monday, we're going to find out that he's guilty. And New York could have the sentencing within about a week or two of that. So by 14th or 15th of the month, let's call it mid-June, he'll know how long he's going to prison for. And somewhere around there, it could be before, but somewhere around there, it's going to trigger that health event. It's coming. It's coming sooner rather than later. And it's going to hit him fast. There's nobody to save him. Overarching energy is the Six of Cups. He's so used to people helping him. He's so used to having things go his way. He's never had to face this adversity before. He's used to people giving him cups, but cups that he wants with flowers, not the medicine that he needs to deal with his issues. This could also be the emotional shutting down of Donald Trump. It's like, again, the stress levels are so much, he emotionally shuts down. And does finally go inside, and he becomes extremely introverted. Basically he had a breakdown. Something along those lines. Lesson to be learned. His health has been decreasing. And you've got the Infinity card. Health is decreasing. The Infinity card is usually over the Magician, showing like an intellect or wisdom. It's like, and with all the tumultuousness, I think literally his brain is going to shut down. He's got to calm down. If he doesn't calm down on his own, his health will calm him down and just take him down a peg. Outcome is the Nine of Cups. He's lost. It's Trump never loses. You ever notice that? He he wins all his golf tournaments in his golf courses. If he has to play an entire round by himself so that he becomes the champion, he'll be the champion. And this is like the judge with the jury. And the judge is sitting there. The judge has passed the thing. The judge has won the emotional battle with Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has lost. And he cannot handle losing. He literally is that kid that playing a board game, he tossed all the pieces around the room in a fit of rage. Red-faced, angry, accuses everybody of cheating because how could he possibly lose? He's the great Donald Trump. That Nine of Cups could also be Donald Trump is finally forced to sit and face all these emotions that he's got. Again, if he goes into a simpler state, he's going to have to deal with all those different emotions that are out there. He can't just live in rage the whole time. He might have to visit other emotions. He'll still blame everybody around him. But again, if his mental health takes a huge hit, he may not be really sophisticated enough to blame others or craft up new ideas here. Spirit, what else can you tell us about Donald Trump's health? Just in general, over the next month or so, what can you tell us about Donald Trump's health? And it's sad in a way, and I don't want to wish ill health on anyone. I would have just preferred he'd never do these things, but he did, and then double down on it or own it. You know, Michael Cohen. I wish Michael Cohen hadn't done everything he had done too. But you know what? At least he's owning it. At least he's trying to atone for it. You know, you can get on board with somebody who's a f up, and then tries to make better for it. What can you tell us though about Donald Trump and his health that you're willing to share here? The Hierophant. Okay, big government things here going on with his health. It's a diminishment. It's an exhaustion. That fire energy is exhausted. We've got a head injury here too. That it's his decline in health doesn't kill him. At least I don't think in this one. It knocks him down a peg. It's the next big health event that would wipe him out. And he may never recover to the level that he was before. It's this emotional loss. He's never had to deal with losing before. He feels disappointed. He feels betrayed. He feels everybody's against him. He's going to be alone. He might be alone in his thoughts and his emotions. Again, it's that feeling of isolation with him. That somehow, whatever happens with him, he finally goes inside. You know, they say if you want to resolve things, you have to go within. All the answers are within. He never goes within. That's a dangerous place with big no entry signs. And he's going to be forced to go within and be inside. And that's going to be scary as all get out. Trepidation right there. And the past is the Empress. You know how wives take care of their husband's health and make sure they're eating right and exercising and, you know, they're in emotionally good space and, you know, they balance their stress with play and stuff like that, get their sleep and all that. Yeah, he doesn't have that. Michelle's glaring at me. I knew she would. He doesn't have that. I've got that, but he doesn't have that. You gonna make an appearance? She's ready to straighten. She's reaching out like this. You can't see.
Because you won't let me do any of that.
I wasn't kidding. Here, have a cat. Okay, he doesn't have that. He's never had that, and if he did have that, he would ignore it anyways. That's just not how he rolls. King of Wands. It's almost like his actions are now going to be taken out of... So other people are going to be making decisions for him. Or his decisions that happen here are his own doing, but it's going to be... His decisions are going to be removed from him. Other people will be making decisions. King of Wands usually represents my Justice Department. So this could be, him going to prison. Or whatever, wherever they incarcerate him, and he has to deal with that. But if we're talking about his health here, I think the decisions are out of his hands. He can't manifest his way out of this. What's happened to him is his own creation. He had all the tools to do what he needed to do. He ignored all of them. And here's where I was talking about that infinity sign above the brain. He's going to be a victim of, not a victim, but a consequence of his choices. He's manifested this for himself. The lesson to be learned is the Three of Cups. I'm sure there will be people who will celebrate this, but think of this as, 3 shifts of nurses bringing him medications and things along those lines, where you have, different people having to tend to his health, either physical or emotional health. He's not doing it on his own. He's got people that have to do it for him because he's lost that privilege or that ability to do it. Queen of Cups. Because he's not getting... And look at all these cups here. Cups. There's a cup there. We got this cup here. Again, it's an emotional shutdown. Because he can't control his emotions will be taken away. He's just going to be a greatly diminished person. A shell of his former self. That's what looks like is happening. I think I will leave it here at this point. When's it going to happen? I don't know. I mean, it's possible that if he gets himself under control, gets his emotions under control, figures out some way to not stress out, he could avoid this whole thing. I'm not convinced that he'll go through this. There's free will. And to me, it's literally one of those things that if he voluntarily goes within, he won't have to have the health event to have him go within. But the health event is going to force him to do this. I didn't get the karma card or the world card here, so it doesn't necessarily have to happen. But that's the vibe I'm getting, is that he needs to go with inside, and if he doesn't do it voluntarily, well, Spirit will force him to. And that's what's going to happen. Okay, we will leave it here. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your kind words, your shares, everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so this video makes it out to a wider audience. To folks discovering this channel recently or for the first time, welcome to the channel. Glad you found us. Hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.